The Business Bully Podcast is being brought to you by Audible with over 180,000 audiobooks to choose from. You can definitely get your life, get some education, get some perspective, maybe find some love in your life. Go to audibletrial.com/bully. And ladies and gentlemen, by the look of my clock right now, it's time to get that show started. All right, here we go.
He's been an award-winning media personality and producer. As a speaker, he's empowered over 1 million people from the stage. Now, one of the leading brand experts and business coaches in the U.S. is bringing his unique brand of straight talk to the world of on-demand audio. It's the Business Bully Podcast. Now, here's the business bully himself, David Anderson.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm so happy to be here. I hope that you're having a wonderful, wonderful day. I hope life is good where you are, and if it's not, get better, damn it. It will be all right. My name is David Anderson. I am the Business Bully. Some people call me Taz, some people call me Dave, some people call me an asshole, and they're all correct. Let me tell you something. I am feeling so good. I am so happy to have you here today. This is a beautiful, beautiful situation. Whenever you're listening to it, I hope that everything that you're trying to do with your life is actually working for you, and if it's not, shut up and change it. Don't be a punk about it. Listen. A lot of stuff happening out here. A lot of things are going on. We have all different types of situations when it comes to our businesses. And one thing that I noticed a lot, you can always tell someone who's not secure in themselves by the way that they act in their relationships. Their relationships are usually directly correlated to the success or the failure of their businesses. And sometimes, just sometimes, it could be that the attitude of the person that they're dealing with is kind of janky, kind of messed up. Maybe there's too many people trying to wear the pants. Maybe there's two bosses. There can only be one head. Two-headed monsters always die. So, I can sit up here and talk about this all damn day because I have several opinions, but I figured I'd bring you an expert. Why? Because I'm unselfish like that, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I am. Cheer for me. Yes. So, what I've done is I decided to call on one of my dearest friends. She's a lead producer for the Joyner Morning Show. She's absolutely awesome. She is a best-selling author. She is a speaker. She is a leader. She is a woman who is so spectacular. Beautiful on the inside and the out. I love her so much. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Deya Smith, people.
Oh, the crowd goes wild.
Yes. Sound you're used to hearing all the time. How are you?
I am wonderful. I'm so happy to be talking to you. And man, you made me sound so wonderful and fabulous. I'm feeling amped up.
Oh boy. That's a good thing. I want you to feel good. And I didn't say anything that wasn't true.
I'll take it.
Hey, what can we do? So, listen, you got a brand new book out.
Yep.
Soft is the new power.
Yeah.
I feel like every woman on earth should get this book right now.
Why you say that?
Right now.
Why do you think so?
Some of these vaginal Americans, because I want to be politically correct, some of the vaginal Americans are just a little bit too hard. Somebody told them that they got to be out here like Miss Sophia. All my life I had to fight. Nah. Look, man, as a man, I go out here, I fight, I bust my balls dealing with, different types of businesses and people and their attitudes and the fact that I'm black and I'm fitting the description of something because of what I'm driving, what I'm wearing, I got to be doing something wrong. When I come home, I need peace. See, Superman was brilliant, not because he could fly, but that whole Fortress of Solitude thing, dope. Need that.
Yo.
But look, you can't be it alone, man. So I know for me, I need peace when I walk through this door. You know what I mean? So that's why I come home to my wife and things are peaceful. But look, it's a lot of hard women out there, dear. Let's not front.
We don't have to. Listen, let me tell you something. First of all, the subtitle of the book is called Embracing Your Feminine Edge to Win in Love and Life. And you are absolutely right. There are a lot of hard women who have smoked the feminist joint and they are completely high, and yet their personal lives are extremely low. So, I get it because I've been that girl, and I'm not saying it's still not in me. What I am saying is it's time to diversify your communication portfolio, the way they tell us to do in finances. You can't just be one thing, nor do you have to. You really can be more than one thing. If the situation calls for you to be hard, that's fine. But what you can't do is be a one-note wonder. If somebody's just singing the same tune all the time, what tends to happen? People just tune you out. And so think about it like this. When you go to the gym, and you work on a particular area, that area is strong. Right. So a lot of us as women, period, but also especially women, Black women who have had to do it all, who have had to do a lot of heavy lifting, a lot of times by default, not just because they wanted to. So I'm not blaming anybody here. I get it. I come from a single family home. I come from a home where my mother was abused by a man. And so I spent so much of my life in defense trying to be something that she wasn't, as opposed to really focusing on what it is that I needed to be instead. And so what happens is when you're functioning by default or you're in defense, you're not necessarily focusing on what you want. And so a lot of women are spending their energy on what they don't want or what they're not going to be, as opposed to really putting their energy and their time into what they really do want. And so while we're frustrated for having to do so much, too much, all of it and above, at the same time, we don't let down our guard enough to allow somebody else to help us. And then some of us, men have egos, but so do women. So for me, one of the examples that I share is how in a past relationship, Annette said to me, literally, because I am called Deya Direct for a reason, because, I can go hard in the paint, right? Right. But yeah, there's a place for that. So I'm not trying to take away from myself, but what I found out is that, it's not necessary all the time, and it's wearing me out. So part of my transformation and learning is also about self-preservation, which I'll discuss. But to my point about the story, so my ex was like, we were in a very heated argument. We were going in. I was being direct, as I know how to do very well. Yes. And he broke me down to the lowest common denominator. And he literally said, you know what, Deya? You go too hard. Like, if I wanted to date a dude, that's what I would do. Now, I can give you the look, the softness, the femininity on the outside, but my energy from the inside was very masculine, because we all have masculine and feminine energy. It's all about which muscle is stronger. Men have feminine energy, women have masculine energy. It's just about which muscle, which energy is most dominant in your life. And then you have to ask yourself that Dr. Phil question. How's that working for you?
Uh-oh. Yikes. So, here's the thing. Like, I've known you for the better part of a decade. And, I've known you to keep it real and stand up for yourself. But I've never looked at you and say, well, here's Deya, actress, beauty queen, producer, awesome person, hard chick. Like, when I think somebody, like, hard, like, I think somebody, and I don't mean in a, like, the gooch kind of hard. I mean, like, never, like, I've never seen you be, like, the shrill, neck-popping, gum-chewing, finger in the face of a man type. Like, I've never seen that side of you, Well,
because you haven't had to, but it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And so... Real talk, right?
Yeah, real talk.
So I think I'm glad you said that, because what happens is we get involved in these relationships, both personal and professional, that are not beneficial to our spirit, that do not edify us. And so as a result, what happens is even when we bring our best selves to bad situations, the results are going to be what they're going to be, which is usually not good and detrimental to your life, because it wasn't a good connection for you. So what we do oftentimes is we throw the baby out with the bathwater because we got so hurt in that situation. So the reality is we got it twisted. It's not that the principle of being soft is bad. It's who you show your softness to or expose it to that becomes the issue. And so we have to also do a better job of choosing better relationships, being more gentle with ourselves, being more discerning in terms of who we invite into our our secret place. The Bible says that you don't cast your pearls to the swine. And so everybody does not deserve the best parts of you. And so because in most of us at one point or another in our lives have given too much of our best to somebody who was less, then we miss out, and then we become protective, and then we don't want to show it to anybody else. And so we have this hard wall because it's about preserving ourselves. We're coming from a place of fear and a place of hurt. I always tell people, if you show me a hard woman, I'll show you a woman that's been hurt. Nobody just grows up hard. Something happened, But what happens is with Black women, at this point, we've been branded as these hard, negative, loud, feisty women, and it is not the truth. It is we have a bad rap. And I was at a speaking engagement recently. The celebrity who will go unnameless came to the event where I had a star-studded panel, and I asked him afterwards. I was like, what do you think? What do you think about the soft power panel? And he was like, it sounds good. I really like the concept. He was like, but Black women never be hard. Never be soft. They're not soft. Other cultures, absolutely. Black women, never. It's all a farce. It sounds good, but it's not true. It won't happen. And I was like, wow, give us a break. Like, give us a chance. Like, really? You really believe that? And he's like, yeah. So this is a Black man,
right,
who came from a Black woman. And when I tell you he Black, I mean he really Black, honey.
Ain't no
no, nobody's confused about that, right? Like all shades of blue. And it's like, wait a minute. You don't, if a Black man doesn't give us the benefit of the doubt, wow, what is everybody else thinking?
Wow. Well, I'll say this. I come from a Black woman. I was raised by a Black woman. I am the father of 2 budding Black women. I married a Black woman. One of my best friends who is on the other end of this conversation is a Black woman. However, I've also lived in several states in this country. And I would say that sisters who don't have that big brick-sized chip on their shoulder are in a gross minority. And I hate to say that because it sounds worse than what it is, but there's this thing that we have, and when I say we, because look, if a man can't stand behind his woman or behind his sisters and say, look, we have a problem, we have a problem. Here's what I mean. First, you have, society. The Black woman in America is ultimately the most disrespected human being on the planet. The Black woman in America, absolutely the most disrespected human being on the planet. Malcolm X has said it. Martin Luther King said it. I'm saying it. Like, it's legitimate as far as that goes. And disrespected to the point where there's caricatures of people who look like you, my wife, my mother, my daughters, on TV throwing drinks, acting a fool. It doesn't matter if they have law degrees or they own nail shops or they're sleeping with rappers. Just insert angry woman here. Whether they're in The Apprentice or whether they're on Jerry Springer, you don't see anything but anger. And if in fact they are a professional, then they have to be a bed wench. There's no balance. There's no nothing. And so when someone is presented as a monolith, or the culture or the community constantly says, I don't need a man for anything, I can do bad all by myself, y'all ain't nothing, Black men ain't fill in the blank here. At some point, there is a level of accountability and a mirror that needs to go up to say, why is this being said? Why is this being done? And why is this the prevailing overarching stereotype in culture today in 2016?
So check this out. This is what happened with me. I used to do these series of interviews with women.
Right.
And it was called Girlfriend FM. And so I would talk about all things women related, all women matters. And of course, one of the key and core conversations that we would have would always be about relationships. Mm-hmm. Now, I am the go-to girlfriend, the girlfriend's girlfriend.
Right.
And so, but the the journalist in me kicked in at some point because we kept having the same conversations and we kept coming up with the same conclusion, which ended in a question mark, okay? Which means we didn't have the answers to the questions that we had. So as a journalist, at some point that had kicked in and I was like, okay, I got to go to the source here. And so I started talking to men. But more than talking to men, okay, newsflash. I know you're not going to believe me when I tell you this, but it is true. Not only did I start talking to men and started doing what is now known as the Man Whisperer series, where I interview a panel of men of, in different statuses in life to talk. But I didn't just interview them, I listened. I'm going to say that again. Because I wanted information, I listened. And I didn't just listen. I created a safe space for men to tell me the truth without any kind of ramifications. And when I began to create this atmosphere and assured them that it was safe for them to speak honestly and clearly, guess what? They did. Not only did they do it, but they didn't want to stop. So I learned something. We think men don't want to talk. It's not true. They're not going to set themselves up for failure on purpose, though. And so if they feel like what they express is going to be received in a certain way, or if they're going to have to deal with the consequences of it, they're not going to tell you. And so what was really interesting is all these women would come to hear what men had to say. And then when these men would say it, oh, Jesus today. I mean, I'm talking everybody from outspoken people like Roland Martin or Lamont Rucker, actor Lamont Rucker, or activist Jeff Johnson, or comedians, or just everyday guys. Like, they were breaking it down to the lowest common denominator. And the more I listened, the more I realized everything that I thought and that I was basing my decisions on, we were like polar opposites. Like, me and my girls, we had it all wrong in terms of how men thought and processed the things that we thought we were doing that was good and cute and effective. And guess what? It wasn't. We were coming from a whole different perspective. But that understanding, it sounds cliche and we hear all the time that information is power, but it really is. Because when I listened, then I was able to learn, and then I was able to leverage what I learned. But there is a process. But what happened is I would do these amazing panels. These men would tell the truth, and then the women would flip out. Literally, a guy would be like, this is who I am, this is what I do, and this is why I do it. And then the women will be like raising their hand. I'm like, it's not time for Q&A yet, boo. Like, we're not at that part yet. But I just got something I need to say. But you're not on the panel. Like, hold on for a second. You're here to listen and to learn. And so they just had ants in their pants. And I saw myself, and I was like, oh my God, it was like an eye-opener. Like, we do not listen. This is funny.
Hold on, wait. Hold on. Say that last part one more time.
We don't listen. We want to listen to ourselves. We don't want to hear nobody else, especially men. And I was that chick, so it's like no judgment zone here. I totally saw myself, and I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. And so I remember this guy, he was like really breaking it down and like really giving us some jewels. And this chick like stood up out of her chair and she was like, that's not true. I was like, hold on for a second, sister. He just told you how he feels.
Right.
And how most men think. And all the men on this panel are shaking their head in agreement. How you gonna tell him that his truth ain't true?
Okay.
That don't go together.
Really don't.
So you came to hear what the men had to say, but the minute they say something that you don't like, you don't want to hear it. We are missing the boat.
Okay. I'm not mad. I've already pre-ordered the book. I bought the book and wait for it to come down on my Kindle right now. Because, yeah. No, I promise. This is a great stocking stuffer. Get it right now. Christmas in July.
Yeah. Well, the hard copy of the book is out. People are getting, I've been getting text messages all day that people are sending me pictures. They got their book in the mail. So you can get it. We did a special with the ebook version of the book until Tuesday, which is May 17th. But if you want the book, you can go on Amazon and everywhere else and go get it right now. So here's the interesting thing. The book is broken down into two sections: soft power and the art of becoming a man whisperer. Now, we're in a political season right now. The interesting thing about soft power is that it's actually a political term.
Didn't know that.
It's actually an international political term that it was created by a Harvard professor at the time who focused on international politics. And so the whole concept of soft power is the ability to attract people into supporting your perspective, as opposed to having to use hard power, like war. So if you can attract people to feeling good about your perspective, then you are more likely not only to get them to do what you want them to do, but literally attraction then leads to influence. And so when you can influence a person, and influence can manifest itself in different ways. Influence can be leading by example. Influence can be having something that other people want, and because they want what you have, they're more likely to give you what you want. So, with the United States, with us being such a superpower and having so much that attracts other countries, we have the ability to influence them and have power over them because they want to be here. They want what we have.
Yes.
So now you apply that to your business relationships or your personal relationships. So soft power, when it comes to relationships, can really be applied on every single level: spiritual, emotional, mental, political, personal, professional, etc., etc., etc. But you have to know what you possess that other people want, and then use it to leverage that to get what you want and make them feel good about it. You know what I mean? You don't have to necessarily get everything, but you can get the majority of what you want. And so when it comes to personal relationships, it's even one of those things where you say, okay, do I want to be right or do I want to be happy? And so soft power has everything to do with perspective. It has everything to do with intention, and then it has everything to do with leverage. And then the final thing is all about knowing your audience. When you know your audience, we're in the field of communications.
Right.
When you know your audience, then you temper your form of communication based upon the most effective way to reach who you're talking to. So in this case, where we specifically are talking about the art of becoming a man whisperer, which is the second part of the book, then you then also have to do what? Study men. Because see, as women who are so smart, who we have our education, multiple degrees, great jobs, blah, blah, blah. And we know how to study for school. We know how to study for the job that we want, but we don't use that same principle and that same energy and transfer it into our personal relationships. Now, somehow we think just because you want to be in a relationship that you should understand how to be in one, and that is not the case. So you also have to study relationships, and you also have to study the species that you want to be in a relationship with in order to be most effective. And so I started studying men. And let me tell you, in this man whisperer journey, I've learned a few nuggets that have become life changing. I've studied the male ego. I've studied what the Bible says about how a man should love his wife and how a woman should respect her husband. I've studied psychologists and so on and so forth that break down the difference between how a man and a woman process things and how we have different emotional intelligence and how women can multitask but men don't have that ability in the same way. I've studied how men are not allowed to emote And so they're not socialized to show their emotions, but it doesn't mean that they don't have them. But see, we interpret it as them being insensitive. And the truth is A, not how they're built, and B, it's not how they're socialized, but it doesn't mean that the same emotions don't impact them and affect them. So we, in turn, do not actually treat men like human beings, because we give grace to our girlfriends and we totally understand that's just how Shamika is. So you accept Shamika for how she is, but you do not accept Shamar for how he is, even though he's the person that you want to have the ultimate relationship with, but he's also the person who gets the least grace in your life.
Wow, that was a word. I mean, right now, if we could just pass along the collection plate.
I'll take it.
Look, man, I'm here to tell you, like, it is very, very difficult because I see it and I never understood that logic to me. You know, it's just like, well, Bomb Quisha, she's been my friend for 20 years, but she always gossips. She ain't never happy. She ain't got no man, but she want to be all up in your relationship. And you just, and your man's like, yo, why you let Bomb Quisha talk like that? Oh, well, that's just Bomb Quisha. But let a man, let him.
I can't get past Bomb Quisha. You got me stuck on Bomb Quisha. I can't get past Bomb Quisha.
Bomb Quisha's ass. Everybody got a Bomb Quisha in their crew.
I'm struggling with Bomb Quisha.
Look, everybody know a Bomb Quisha. Matter of fact, the name of this podcast is now Soft Power and the Problem with Bomb Quisha. Mark it. Hashtag Bomb Quisha. Trending right now.
I can't. I'm not going to make it. It's over.
I'm telling you, you're going to make it. You going to make it. All right, let me ask you this. When it comes to this book, outside of your live Man Whisperer panels, what kind of pushback have you gotten from women?
So far, the pushback, and I was really concerned about, I'm that strong, independent Black woman. There are elements of feminism that I totally buy into. But when the concept came into play, it didn't really consider the Black woman and the different dynamics that we have to deal with in society in terms of how it relates to our engagement with Black men who have been stripped of so much.
Thank you.
So some of it applies, some of it doesn't. But it's like Grandma said, you chew the meat, you spit out the bones.
Preach.
Well. Yep. So the pushback has been, well, why should I have to change for a man? And da 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 da. Well, I didn't say that. It's not about having to change for a man as much as being committed to self-growth and doing whatever it takes to be effective in the relationships that you want in your life. And so you can't be effective if you don't understand who you're dealing with. Like, you must know your audience. Communication is sending and receiving information. Until and unless the person you're sending and receiving information from is also understanding and responding accordingly, you have not been effective. And so if your only goal is to hear yourself, then fine. But that doesn't mean you're communicating. So my question is, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? If you want to be happy, you might want to build up some different muscles, some different skills, so that you can strategically apply them to the situation at hand. And since Grandma said you can get more with honey than vinegar, or, the Bible teaches us about these things, that a soft answer turns away wrath. Like, soft is the new power, but there's really nothing new under the sun. These are the same principles that have worked for many, many years, well before we were even thought of, but we've forgotten them. And so as women, because we all have feminine and masculine energy, and because many of us have had to be survivors, we are more comfortable with our hard energy, and we have forgotten how to apply the thing that is most innate, our soft energy. So with that in mind, when you consider your audience, a man doesn't need you to be as hard as him. He doesn't need your masculinity as a woman. He needs something that's going to differentiate you. That's the attractive part. He's not looking for a woman to attract him with energy that he already possesses. He's looking for something that he does not have that gives him something that he needs. So I'll put it to you this way, and I'm unabashedly going to use a biblical analogy and truth. So if in fact you buy into the concept that the woman is a man's rib, then you ask yourself this: what does the rib do? What does the rib do, David?
It's a covering. It protects the heart and the vital organs. Boom!
Oh, bingo.
Yeah.
So, if you're the rib, the man is the covering. He protects the outside. And this is the power. Because, see, women think of soft as weak. But here's a news flash. Weak does not mean soft. And hard does not mean strong.
Ow! Ow!
Because sometimes if something is too hard, it's brittle, dry, and it breaks.
So a whole lot of dry, brittle women out there going, ooh.
Yo, inside and out. And that ain't a good look.
Sure
Everybody getting cut. It's not a good thing.
No,
all right?
no.
So take that. Now, sorry, you take me there. You take me there.
That's what I do.
But anyway, so if you are the rib that's covering the heart and the major organs, that means the power that the woman has is that she's the safe place for a man to lay his heart. If in order for it to be safe, it must be soft.
Well,
a soft for him to lay his head. We literally our position is to create a safe atmosphere for a man to lay his guard down so that he can come into the home and the atmosphere to receive what you said, which is peace, so that he can be replenished to be able to go back into the world and function. Now, as a woman, you may say, well, I'm working just as hard as he is. Absolutely. But we need different things.
okay.
Women already have permission to be soft and let their guard down.
Thank you.
Men don't. Men
Thank you.
do not.
Well,
They don't have a safe place. So if they cannot get a safe, soft place at home, where on earth can they get it?
strip
If
club.
they're being beat down and told that they ain't nothing in the world, and then they come home and you feel like you need to break him down to the lowest common denominator, where does he get peace? Where does he get a safe place? Where does he get to be free and actually emote and be a real human being? If not with you, then who? Here's the thing. Bottom line, at the end of the day, people need what they need. So even if he doesn't get it with you, it doesn't mean he's not going to get it, because you got to have it in order to make it to the next day. So if he can either be that guy that's not coming home or that's sitting outside in the parking lot because he can't handle what is going to happen when he got to come in the house and you just bring it all down on him, or yelling and screaming and telling him to do something else, or he can't wait to get home to finally get some peace of mind and peace of spirit and consolation. Which way do you want to use your power?
Well,
But please believe
if he don't
all
want,
power.
if he don't want it, and he can go out there and get it. He can go to the strip club. It don't matter to me none.
Okay.
I'm just saying that's just what Bonquay should be saying. I'm just like,
Right. But you say that, but you don't mean it.
Nah, that's just you fronting. That's just you fronting. You're not doing nothing. You lying. You know you're lonely. And you know what's bad though? And maybe it's just because I see it this way, but I really think it's bad when you see what happens to somebody who spends all their lives being a strong, independent, bitter, mad, angry, dried up, wrinkled, angry woman. They become miserable and old and dried up and bitter and
That's so
angry.
good. That's so good. Here's the other piece. Being soft or learning to become soft is really about self-preservation. I'm tired of being tired.
Ooh.
We are not meant to do life alone. And I get it. I've been hurt so many times within very extreme situations. So I get the guard. But I could encounter so many women from their 20s to their 60s and more who are saying things like, I don't want to grow old and alone. And that is really the focus. So my point is, we spend a lot of energy focusing on what we don't want instead of what we do want. If, in fact, you don't want to grow old and alone and you see your path going in that direction, you got to be willing to do something different, right?
Right.
So, for me, self-preservation is, I don't want to be stressed out. I don't want to be hard. Hard is not sexy. It don't look good on me. It's not good for the bags under my eyes. It's not helping me get more sleep. Stress kills.
Well,
I don't have to be, I don't always have to have the last best word. And so what I know about me, my truth is this. When I was in my 20s especially, and even somewhere in my 30s, when I was always going like super hard in the paint, my little secret, no matter how strong I seemed, the secret was that I was insecure. The secret was that I came from an atmosphere where people always said what I'm not going to be, or what I am going to be, which usually wasn't positive. So I had something to prove to the world, which means I had a chip on my shoulder. I was also an only child. I was always small for my age. So I've always felt like I had to fight for myself. And if I didn't come hard or show you that you can't mess with me or try to be intimidating, then somebody was going to come and hurt me. But inside was a scared little girl who wasn't sure, who had a lot of fear. But nobody ever gets to that part of us because everybody else is also trying to figure themselves out. Everybody's trying to survive, man and female. So no, it's nobody's job to make your life work or to figure you out or to always uncover all those layers because they got their own stuff to figure out too. And so that's why the black woman is left alone a lot, because it's so much work that has to be done to let that guard down for really legitimate reasons, but because other people have their own shit too.
Well,
you got time to figure that out, because that then causes them stress.
okay.
And when you after work, when you go to happy hour, key word here, happy hour, and you looking mean and crazy or on your phone and you give an attitude, boo, if you on the right side, he going to the left side because he already left work. He's trying to de-stress, right? So you are not contributing to his happy.
You ruined the whole hour. Your unhappy ass.
The whole hour, never mind. But like, I see you, but then I don't, because that stress on your head, or the fact that you won't even look up and give nobody no eye contact, or you won't smile because you're like, why should I have to smile? Boo, it's not working for you. So now it's time to be intentional. Think about what it is that you want, and then readjust and transfer and recalibrate your energy to actually make adjustments and focus on what you need to do to attract that which you want. Soft power.
Wow. That
Game.
I mean, it's like, I feel like right now, like I've done a lot of shows and I've had a lot of celebrities on this show. I need to book more about this conversation for another day. I feel like right now, every man in America, especially the brothers who listen to this show, matter of fact, the brothers in the United Kingdom, the brothers in Fiji, all the brothers in Jamaica who listening to me, you know, I feel like right now what you need to do is find a woman you're smashing, find your side chick, whomever it is that you are dealing with that is being hard, and I just want you to press play. And then just put this thing on a loop over and over and over again. You're welcome. Deya, how can people find you?
Thank you for that, by the way. And when I just came back from the Tom Joyner cruise, fantastic voyage, and men all over that ship was like, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you. And I had one woman who had been married for 19 years. And she said, my husband tells me I'm too hard all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it's just the messenger or the approach. And that's what soft power really is. It's all about the approach. She said to me, if I didn't come on this cruise for nothing else but to hear what you had to say, it's worth my while. So my heart and my prayer is that after every person, man or female, reads this book, that they have a transition that leads them to the life that they want, the love that they want and need, and know that it's okay to need somebody else. It's okay to make adjustments and grow and to do something different. You don't have, it's not taking away from you. You're adding to yourself and you're being savvy. You know, you're being savvy. It's strategic. It's wisdom. You don't have to fight. You know, timing is everything. Tone matters. The when you say what you say, how you say what you say, your approach makes a difference. Don't have so much ego that you lose everything else.
Mm.
So go on to Amazon right now. As we like, and get your ebook
Mm-hmm.
or get your hard copy.
Yes.
It's waiting for you. This right here is
This
my
here?
testimony. This right here is ministry.
Mm.
I believe in making my pain pay me back, which means I invested in a whole lot of hard power.
Well,
Broke me down all the way down to the lowest common denominator, all the way to my face, not just my knees, but my prostrate on my face to the fact where I had to say, Jesus, here am I. Break down all the hard layers in my heart, my mind, and my spirit, that I might be soft enough to receive what you have from me, to be the feminine woman that you've called me to be for myself, for you, and then for somebody else, so that I can actually be effective in my life and that I can actually get some sleep instead of stressing out all night, trying to figure out stuff that wasn't meant for me to figure out. So I surrender. Being soft has a lot to do with surrendering. You can't even receive if you have a hard heart. So how can you receive if everything is protected by you? At some point, the question becomes, well, where is God? Why do you feel like you got to do all the hard protecting? God could protect you even in your soft state. Like we only allow God to come into certain areas of our lives, but you're taking his job when you decide you want to have a heart or energy or a spirit of semen. And FYI, none of that is sexy.
Negro, did you just say a spirit of cement? That will preach. Some of y'all got a spirit of cement. You get down, you start getting wet, and then the next thing you know, you go outside and you harden up and you start to get cracks because you got that spirit of cement. Lord won't use you. Won't use you, Jesus.
I'm done with you.
Oh my Lord, did I just break? I'm telling you, man, my preaching game is still on fire. But I'm here to tell you, Deya, I am so happy for you on so many levels, and I ain't gonna put your personal business out there, but I'm just gonna say I have seen a lot of come and I've seen a lot of go. I am happy that you are so happy and are walking in your purpose despite certain obstacles that you have faced and still continue to face.
You don't have to put me on blast. I'll put myself on blast. Tapping into my soft power has led me to an amazing love of my life. And ladies, just check me out on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, or go to deyadirect.net, because I got a 2-carat amazing, fabulous ring to prove to you that this soft power is on lock. And it's working. It's on fire. And it's working, baby. And by the way, I don't just use soft power on him.
Oh, you got other
He
dudes you use soft power on? Well, why?
no. He uses soft power on me.
Uh-oh.
So that's game right there. See, it's not so much that a woman can't submit. Ooh, I know there's that word to a man
Mm-hmm.
as much as he got to know how to talk to her. If you know how to talk to your woman and whisper in her ear properly and talk to her in a way that she can receive it, it's not too much she won't do for you.
Uh-oh.
And it works both ways.
Lord.
So his masculinity
Uh-oh.
calls up my femininity,
Uh-oh. Lord.
and we work together. And literally, we working in the yin and the yang, and there's mutual respect
Mm-hmm.
because femininity is powerful.
Wow.
It's not weak, and masculinity is powerful. It's not weak,
Mm.
but we can bend to receive each other.
Hello. Bend to receive. That's what I always say. Yes. Yes, indeed. Soft power will put some respect on your name. Yes, Jesus. That will preach. DeyaDirect.net is where you can find her, people. Soft is new power. You can get it at Amazon and wherever fine books are sold right now. Ebook, Kindle, the whole smear. Deya, I am so happy for you. Thank you so much for taking the time. Look at you. You done went 46 minutes and 2 minutes with the 2 seconds with the champ, girl. Whew.
See what you did to me. See what you did to me.
That's
See,
what I
see
do.
how your masculine energy just extended the whole experience.
Yes, indeed. My masculine energy always extends the whole experience. Ask my wife. Boom. No, man, but like this is extremely important, and I'm so happy that people don't understand that, because when you have a stable, cooperative, loving home life, you can get out there with the full armor of God and go do your business and grow your business and do what you got to do to bring this bread home. And sisters, when you come home, you can leave that tough exterior out there. Come home and be soft. And you can be soft in your business dealers, don't get it twisted. But for the real, like really letting your guard down, that's what home is for. You ain't got to be a combatant in the arena of your home, because there is no ring in the house. There's a bed. Beds are soft. I've been in a ring. Rings ain't soft. I'm just saying. So, if you're trying to get it popping, if you are trying to get yourself together, which is what you need to do before you go ahead talk about, I need me to find me a man. I'm going to find me a man. This the year where God is just going to deliver my Boaz. And you're still dealing with Poass and no ass, but we're going to let that go. You need to get this book. I need to tell y'all, get this book right the hell now. Fellas, if your wife is tripping or your girl is tripping and you're trying to make that move, but she's starting to just jaw jack your ear off, what you need to do, give her this book. If she not a reader, that's cool too. Let her listen to this show. Then slide her ass that book. And don't say nothing. Just like, baby, I just got this for you. Put it in a nice bow. And look, man, I'm trying to help you. Trying to help y'all. Help me help you. Help me help Deya help you. That's all I'm saying. Teamwork made the dream work, people. So listen. Get the book. Deya, thank you so much. I know you got to go and shine up your 2-carat ring with your humble bragging ass. And if you haven't heard Deya on the Tom Joyner Morning Show, you can check her out, man. She's always doing great stuff with Black America Web. And whenever Tom gets his ass on a vacation, Deya's in the building, usually with one of the Skips. Nowadays, it's usually Skip Murphy. Shout out to Skip Murphy. Love that old man. Old fake-ass looking Donnie Simpson. Love that man. Yeah, so make sure you check her out, man, because she's doing huge things. Again, DeyaDirect.net. Deya, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you.
Love you.
Love
I
you
love
more.
you, friend.
Talk to you soon, friend. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is all I'm going to say. Now, aside from that, I do have to give love to my sponsors. Berry Amazing Travel. You can check them out right now at Berry, Berry, amazingtravel.com and get hooked up. You can go anywhere in the world you want to go and make nice, simple, easy payments. Plan that thing out right down to the hotel and the airfare. BerryAmazingTravel.com. Let's not forget, you need to go. Oh, yeah. Talk about soft power. You can get sex toys, sexy lingerie for that plus size woman in your life, or just to feel sexy, ladies, at kellyscloset.net. kellyscloset.net has all of those things, and you get 15% off when you put in the keyword bully at checkout. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, check them out. And let's not forget, Polish and Lather, all natural soaps, scrubs, oils, lotions, sexiness, and the creator of the limited edition Business Bully Soap, which will be dropping in June of 2016. And you're going to make sure you get yourself a limited bar, because it is coming through like that. Polishandlather.com, just like it sounds, polishandlather.com. So shout out to all the folks over there. And of course, you can get 15% off using the keyword bully or business bully, whichever you prefer, at checkout. That's right, baby. I am the 15% off king. I will take 15% off of you. Yes, I will. That's my thing. I want 15%. No. But make sure you do your thing, for real. I definitely appreciate that. Oh, big announcement. Big announcement. Listen. Hold on. I think that... There it is. The big announcement alert. Listen. I am dropping a book. Right? This is an ebook. Strictly an ebook. It's only going to be available at my website. All right? Friday of... this week, and of course this week it would be Friday the 20th, so make sure you look out for that. Friday the 20th, I'm dropping a book. It is called Facebook Live Bully, and what it is a guide as to what to do on Facebook Live to grow your business, to make money, to increase your fan base, to reach out for them, building a sales funnel, the whole nine. I put a whole lot of work into this. And I'm still writing Sell Like Jesus, and I'm still touring, and I'm still coaching, and I'm still speaking, but I do this for you because guess what? The world doesn't stop while David Anderson has things to do, like write books and give speeches and go out and do press. No, I have to give you what you need, because that's why I'm the business bully, all right? So make sure that you're sharing the show. Make sure that if you're on iTunes or you're listening on an iPhone, you go to iTunes and give this thing a 5-star rating, because when you give that thing a 5-star rating, I read those ratings, because those ratings are important to me, so much so that I am willing to read whatever the hell you say. And I have to tell you, man, I've been getting a whole lot of love on the on the iTunes, man. Matter of fact, let me go check out, see who put a 5-star rating up. So I'll read one real quick, and we'll see what's happening. Business Bully Podcast. Let's see what we got here. All the ratings. Let's check this podcast part out. Check out these reviews and see what people have said. All right, so got a couple of reviews here. 750 credit score balance says, first of all, thank you. It's refreshing to listen to a podcast that features someone not only knowledgeable but looks like me. Great podcast. Keep it up. Yeah, man, like I didn't realize that there were so many people who were looking for a black business and sales coach. I didn't get into this to be the black guy, but I am black and I do feel like my people need me, so I'm grateful for that. Another one says, awesome sauce, and this is from Mrs. QSPN. And she says, this podcast is very informative and entertaining. I recommend it as I needed some direction and a kick in the butt to get me focused on the marketing aspect of my business. Bravo. Also, J Nemo says, dope. Keep feeding us every episode. I gain strength. Thanks, and you're much appreciated. Y'all are much appreciated, so thank you very, very much for listening to the show. I definitely appreciate it. And also, shout out to Audible. Please go to audibletrial.com/bully. Get your 30-day free trial and a free audiobook download. I definitely appreciate you. Thank you so much to Deya Direct for being here. Get that book, Soft is the New Power. I co-sign it. And also, she's got another book called Touch Yourself, which is also amazing. So make sure you check that out as well. And I will see you next time. Peace.